Hey, it's the right Rican, and I'm totally changing what I wanted to talk about today because I saw this article and it made me sick. Radical Senate Democrats overwhelmingly support nationwide law, excuse me, imposing abortion on demand for all 9 months. Excuse me, I just finished doing an hour show. Should be coming out either tomorrow or Friday. I did uh, my buddy Troy Smith. He has a show, Launch Liberty website. So we were talking about the State of the Union, and I did my little reaction to it, but we go into more depth about it. So my voice is a little tired, but I saw this and I really wanted to talk about it because first thing, I'm going to use this article as a source, but I wanted to go to the horse's mouth, so to speak, and I wanted to get this from their actual words. And there's a part where it just gets me because this is how they manipulate us. This is how they manipulate people of color. And I'm not using their term. They keep changing the term, and I'm going to keep it people of color because this Black, indigenous, people of color stuff, it's like, come on. How many times are you guys going to change stuff like with the rainbow flag, and then they got to add a bunch of different other colors to it when rainbow is supposed to be all inclusive? So this is how they get us here. Look, they say here, people hurt most by abortion restrictions are those already facing barriers to accessing healthcare and who are bearing the brunt of the pandemic and economic crisis, and particularly Black, indigenous, people of color, women, and those working to make ends meet. Here's the whole thing. One, okay, a lot of abortion clinics are in poor neighborhoods, or damn near close, because those are their biggest customers. And it's really sad that they make us feel, as people of color, that this is our only way out. And it's not. My son was this small, one hand, when he was born at 26 weeks, 26 weeks. 24 weeks. No, excuse me, 24 weeks. As he was 6 months. And he's changed my opinion on abortion. I used to be a person who said 6 months. You had up to 6 months. But seeing my son fight for life in the NICU changed my opinion on that. Realizing that, these at 6 months, these babies feel pain. And what they're talking about here is going to let me go to the facts section, so like that I could get their own words. It goes here, how would it work? The Women's Health Protection Act establishes a statutory right for healthcare providers to provide and their patients to receive abortion care free from medically unnecessary restrictions, limitations, and bans that delay and at times completely obstruct access to abortion. The Department of Justice, as well as providers and individuals harmed by restrictions made unlawful under the act, could go to court to enforce these rights. Here's the whole issue. Okay. I'm not going to, I'm not one of these people who, I'm not one of these people who, I go, no abortion, it should be fully banned. I'm not one of those. Okay. I give you the 12 to 15 weeks, tops, okay, to decide. And after that, it has to be, baby or mother's life that are at risk, because it is a life. Whether you want to um, admit it or not, that baby is a life. And they want to push, like, the New York law that's, lets you get an abortion up to birth. And why I say they manipulate um, blacks and Latinos when it comes to this, I'm going to speak specifically for the Latino community. In the Spanish speaking stations, the news stations in New York, they didn't talk about this law. If they did, it wasn't much, because I got family members who watch the Spanish news and there was nothing about it. Because why? Because they don't fly with Latinos. We're okay with abortion uh, in the first trimester, but past that, we're not okay with it. The majority of us are not. And they don't tell you that. They're doing this law and they're telling you no limitations, no unnecessary restrictions. Okay. So what does that mean? Like in New York State, for whatever, mental health could be the reason why you abort a baby at 8 months. And that's the problem. They're not pro-choice anymore. They're pro-abortion, because it used to be this was the old line: safe, legal, and rare is, and he says here in this article, is long gone with democratic dogma. Um, and that's the whole thing. It used to be, the Democrats used to be like, we're pro-choice, we're for safe, legal, and rare. And that's where I still stand. Now, there'll be conservatives, there'll be libertarians, there'll be, Christians that'll disagree with me. But I go, look, listen, my faith is my faith. I can't push my faith on others. And it's between them and God to make that decision. But the one place where I will not allow it is, well, they're gonna kill me for saying it that way, but I can't stand by and see abortion be codified up until birth. That to me is sick. It's sick that people would even write that into law, and people passed that into law in New York State, and that Latinos stood by and said, no, it's okay, because they didn't know. And then they voted these people back into office. These people need to be voted out who are okay with this. Because babies, like I said, babies, um, they feel pain. So these procedures that they put these fetuses through, these babies, is horrific. They have to, um, puncture the brain or something like that and vacuum it out. Sometimes cut it to pieces in order to get the baby out. And does that sound like something that you should be for? I'm, like I said, I'm not for an extreme. I'm not extreme and looking for a ban on abortion, but limiting it up to the first trimester, like I think it's the Mississippi law that is 15 weeks. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Texas is a little too extreme for me. 8 weeks. Sometimes women don't even find out that they're pregnant at 8 weeks. So I still think it's too. That's uh, not giving it an option. And there should be limitations. Let's say, shouldn't be able to have 2 or 3 abortions in a year. If you are that irresponsible to get pregnant 2 or 3 times in a year, when you have access to uh, birth control, morning after pill, condoms. There's so many ways to prevent an unwanted pregnancy nowadays. There's no excuses. You could say, oh, it was a spur of the moment thing that you decided to have sex and there was an accident, condom broke. You could go to the pharmacy without a prescription and get the Plan B pill. or the morning after pill. It's something that you could do. You're not stuck. Uh, it's not 100% effective, but it's a choice that you have there. And if you're going to be sexually active and you don't want to use protection, that's that's what you could use birth control for. But remember, it's not STD control. But that's what's going on. I mean, I read this article and it just sent shivers down my spine reading that this is what the Democrats are for now. Like I said, it used to be something where, the safe, legal, and rare was something where it, there was a shame with abortion. And there should still be a shame with abortion. But now they're talking about, oh, I'm proud to have my abortion. No, you shouldn't be proud. You killed a life. Whether you want it, you could, run mental gymnastics all you want, but you're taking a life when you have an abortion. It's a life. You don't know what that life could have been. Um, that's why I'm against it. And most Latinos are. Most Latinos do not agree with this. But the problem is most Latinos vote Democrat just because the fact that we think they're for us. And this is not something that's for us. This is something that our community stands against. Yes, there's going to be people in our community that may agree with it, but the majority of our community does not. If you told them, if you had a choice between abortion up to birth or abortion in the first 12 to 15 weeks of life, because it's what it is, they would tell you the 12 to 15, the vast majority. The vast majority of Americans, period, are not okay with abortion up to birth. But this is what passes as compassion and law, and like I said, their racial justice. This has nothing to do with racial justice, because Blacks and Latinos are the ones that overwhelmingly use abortion. We're targeted for it. It's in our neighborhoods. And I mean, when you look at the founder of Planned Parenthood, she was a eugenicist. There was a reason why she founded them in poor and people in neighborhoods of Black and Latinos. It's because the fact that she thought we were lesser, and she didn't want us having children. But like I said, it's a sacrament. It's you have to be able to say abortion is legal. And like I said, I just can't see how people are okay with this. Maybe just ignorance of the law. There's, of course, there's going to be radical people who have radical views. But I don't think that's the majority of, I don't even think that's the majority of Democrats. I think that they push this because they want to be a foil to Republicans. The Republicans want an abortion ban, so we're going to want to do the complete opposite. When they would win more support if they would take, like I said, if they take my route, 12 to 15 weeks, that's it. Then you'd be able to pass a law, because you would get moderate Republicans who would be okay with that. That they don't necessarily want the full ban, but sometimes there's some people in the constituents that want it, and that's that's their version of pandering. But let me know what you guys think. Are you someone that's on board with the abortion to birth? Because if you are, I'd love to hear your reasoning. I'd love to find out. And even if you're someone that you think there should be a complete ban, let's talk about it. Either way, I think that there's something that there'll never be wide consensus, other than maybe wide consensus, that abortion up to birth is wrong. I think there's a wide enough consensus for that. All right, with that being said, I'm the Right Rican. Follow me on YouTube and Rumble. And you can interact with me on social media. still on the Truth Social waiting list, but you can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Telegram, Gab, all those social media websites. You name it, I got it. That being said, have a good one.